it's Jackie and Dave from Clomp and Stampers. We are here with our monthly free card making class, and we're changing it a little bit. You've been following us for about 15 months now, each month as we made fun fold card templates. Well, we're switching it up and we're gonna do just card templates. Now, same concept. Make them along with Dave. If Dave can make them, anyone can make them. That's what we like to say. Put them in a shoebox. Pull them out whenever you want to make a quick and easy card. It'll help you design your cards differently and give you some different ideas for layering and the way you position different things on your cards. They're designed to work with any stamps, ink, and paper. So I hope you use the card templates. I hope you make them first and then use them in all your card making. So we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go along, but for now, let's just flip the camera down and let's get to making our first set of 4 card templates.
Good, let's get them made.
Alrighty, I just want to give you a quick peek at the tutorial first. It's formatted very much like our fun fold ones have been, and it's going to have how to make each of the templates plus 2 step-by-step directions for 2 different cards using each template. Now, this tutorial will be free if you place a $50 order with us during the month of October. Otherwise, you can purchase it over on my website. So, like I said, we're going to make the template first, or Dave's going to make it, and then I'm going to share with you the 2 cards I made with it, and hopefully give you lots of tips, which will help you see the value of making these templates. Okay. We're going to start with we just need a half sheet of cardstock, but I thought I'd make you cut a full sheet in half for them. So we need to cut it at 5 1/2. Now, when you're making cards, almost every card we make starts with a half sheet of cardstock. So 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, or you can always take it and cut it the long way and go at 4 1/4. It gives you the same size front. So you'll notice on the tutorial, we mentioned that you can go either way on these. So there's your card. Now, if you like to score to get a nice crisp fold in it, we can
do that because I like scoring.
I know. We're going to score it at 4 1/4.
4 1/4 is right over there.
We don't want to take all your scoring, away from you
No,
here.
I like making a little straight line bumpy thing.
There you go. Okay, fold it in half. There's your card.
That's a good edge.
Okay, we're going to test your gluing skills right
That's what I'm best at.
For this one, we have 3 strips. Each one is 1/4 by 5 1/2. I like to use scraps of cardstock on my card fronts instead of ribbon sometimes, just to add a little bit of a pizzazz. Now, I got to show this off. Can we show this off? I wonder if it shows it here. You might have seen this on my Facebook page, but I love green glue. My son, Jared, made this for me. It's a green glue holder because you always want to keep your green glue upside down. And so I thought it was absolutely adorable. It was made on a 3D printer. Actually, he made 2 of them for us. So we have this one too. So now that was a big old sidetrack.
That was.
I like to talk about my kids. Let's glue. Okay, very little glue. And you're going to put the first strip right down the middle of the card.
Just down the middle like that.
Just down the middle. So really little
sure it's very little glue?
You probably only need 4 little dots. You don't, like that. All the way down.
Look at that. That's good dots I'm doing.
That's really good.
Wow.
Okay. Wow, you must have remembered since the last time we did a video.
Now I go down the middle or about the middle.
Yeah, just eyeball it. Try to eyeball down the middle. There you go.
Look at that.
And then you're going to do the strip on one side and the other strip on the other side.
So I got to glue 3 things good.
Yep, exactly. We're giving you lots of practice with green glue right away.
Oops, all in one day.
I know. But this just makes kind of a nice background here. We're, like I said, all of these templates are really to make quick and easy cards.
Get rid of the white spot.
We don't want them to be boring. So this design will help you just add that special little touch. So there we go.
Look at that. That's a good bottle of glue. It's not like those old ones I used to use.
Right, this one has a smaller opening on it.
There.
Okay,
Look at
so
that.
now this is our focal layer. This
Kind of
piece
looks like a skunk.
a pink skunk.
Pink skunk.
So we got 2 squares here, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, 3 by 3, and we're gonna just adhere those together.
That's it. That's an easy one.
I know. Oh, look at this. I didn't even realize this. Remember, there's 2 sides to every piece of paper. So this must be a scrap from when I was playing with something. And when I cut it to use that side, we're just going to hide the goof.
Unless you want to see the goof, there it is.
So never throw, when you goof, flip it over, you got another side. Now with all of these templates, I'm using basic white as kind of the focal layer. So when you're using this template, this is where you would stamp on or layer on for your image. And then we're going to use some dimensional. So grab the dimensional.
Oh, these things.
And flip this over and put one in each corner.
Oh, that's not easy for me.
I think with the fun folds, we didn't usually put the dimensionals on that often, but with the card templates, we're going to use dimensionals a lot because that'll help everyone remember to use dimensionals.
And then I get to take them all over the house.
Off.
This one will end up in the kitchen. This
True
one will end up in the bedroom.
True story.
And we'll leave two on the office floor here because there's not a lot on the floor now for some reason.
Yeah, because you vacuumed for me.
Because I vacuumed. That's exactly it. I need some more to clean up.
You need some nails to get those off.
There.
I'll show you a trick later for getting those off.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're going to center that over your stripes, and I like to put it up towards the top. Now,
Ooh, center and up. Kind of like
so
that.
kind
That
of
looks
center,
good.
left to right, top.
Yeah. Pushing those little foam bouncy things.
There you go. And then we have a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. We always like to put something on the inside of our cards. So as we make the templates, we're going to do that as well. So that as people use their templates, they remember to stick
there's
a
a little
piece
border
in
there, isn't there?
It is.
Okay.
Because that piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And that's kind of a standard measurement for the inside unless you're going to layer on the inside. So stick that one in there. And then we're going to have template number 1 done. Now, before I show the 2 completed cards, I just want to show this one. Here was one I made when I was figuring out how we were going to do this.
It looks like mine.
It does. But as you're making your templates, make sure you write everything right on them. That way, when you stack these in a box and you flip through them to make a card, you'll have all your measurements and everything right there. So make sure you do that. I'm not going to make Dave do that because he'll never read what he writes.
Nope, you won't.
So here are our 2. So I'm going to bring in this one first. Now you can see how I took that template and I switched it just a little bit by moving everything over a hair. So with templates, don't get completely stuck on exactly that. So I moved it over a little bit and you can see then how I did some stamping on the background here. And here's my focal point. So I decorated my focal point, but this time I didn't layer it. You know, with this one, we layered it. I also cut that with a die. So this whole focal point, you could vary that. It could be a circle. It could be whatever shape you wanted. So there's the first one. And then don't forget to make your envelopes pretty and stamp the inside. So there's the first one with the template. And then with my second one, you can see I turned it. So we're going sideways instead of this way. And I also added an extra layer. So you can see the embossed layer in there, which means these are all cut 1/4 inch smaller. But again, it just adds a little bit more interest, a little bit more detailed involved card. But again, it all came off of using the template. And then there is the inside. Now in the tutorial, if you order from me and get the tutorial for free or purchase it, you'll get step-by-step instructions for all the finished cards that I'm showing you. So list all the supplies, all the cutting measurements, and all the step-by-step instructions. And it'll help you learn how to use those templates. Okay, you ready for number 2?
That's number 2.
Okay, here's the
I'm good to
other
go.
piece of cardstock from when you when you cut in half. You want to score it or you want to just fold it in half this time?
I want to fold it. I want to be a little daring here.
Okay, so fold it in half. You can use
this. Kind of like
You
that.
can use the bone folder to get a nice crisp edge on there.
There.
Okay.
We're folded.
There you go. So for the front on this one, we're going to put a piece of designer series paper or DSP. That
Just
one,
there.
Yep, that one is cut. At,
Well, that's pretty.
it is. Well, you can use that side too. You can use whatever side you want.
I want that side.
Okay.
Oh, that's...
So it's 4 by 5 1/4. There you go.
Kind of looks like an Arizona sunset.
But your grass is in the sky.
Oh, yeah. There. Now it's upside up.
Okay, then for our focal point on this one, it's 2 3/4 by 4. And we're going to layer it with 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Now you will notice when I layer things, sometimes I make them a 1/4 inch bigger, sometimes I make them an 1/8 inch bigger. Personally, I prefer the 1/8 inch, but it's a really small, tight border. But if you're following the directions in the template, you could always bump those up to 1/4s if that works better for you. Now, don't make your card upside down.
Oh, that's right.
And then you can go ahead and adhere that to the center.
Just put it in the middle there? That
Put
looks
it in
good
the middle there.
Because I got pretty colors I'm going against that picture.
So once again, that basic white is where the focal point of your card will be. So this is a real simple card, but it's more giving you just measurements as to how to lay a card out. And then a piece for the inside.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to forget those on the template.
Never forget the inside.
So
make sure that fits.
it should.
Okay, it's going to fit.
It's 4 by 5 1/4. Good thing I have green glue on auto ship with as much as you use.
I like green glue. Like to keep that company in business.
Okay, so there's our second template. And again, here was mine. See, I used the other paper. But this one I made just to be able to show you how if you cut it by 4 1/4 by 11, everything still works. So you can do this with any of the templates.
So it makes an uppy-downy card instead of a side-to-side card.
Exactly, but it's the same measurements. So if you make these, make sure you write your measurements.
So they're identical but different.
They're identical but different. There you go. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to show the cards that I made. You can see here where we've got the designer series paper, and then for my focal layer, it's popped up with dimensionals, but I just did some die cutting. And again, I added some linen thread and some embellishments, but it makes a really pretty card layout when you're using that designer series paper to get a nice border of it. And then on the inside, we have our stamped layer. And then for this one, for our envelope, I put DSP on the envelope flap. So don't forget those envelopes. So there's the first one. I guess I went a little fancy on both my samples on this one, because here I did some die cutting, and you can see the top piece there, which was that, whatever that was, 2 3/4 by 4, I actually die cut out of it. I love this die that coordinates with the stamp set, and then just layered it with white. So none of these cards are hard, and this one, because the card was white, I just stamped on the inside of it. I didn't put an extra layer. So, and there's that one. So those are the 2 cards, again, that are in the tutorial to go with template number 2. Okay, we're ready for template number 3. So there's your half sheet. I've already cut it for you. So it's
So I'm going to fold it again.
Fold it in half, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, regular card size. And we're going to pull our cutter back in.
Oh.
Because for this one, we're going to do some fancy stuff with our designer series paper.
Okay.
So we're starting with a piece that is 3 by 3. And you need to, off one side of it, cut a 1/2 inch.
Really?
Really. So now, depending on the paper you're using,
Oh, I should go with a...
you can see, let's go this way so you get a little bit of yellow on green.
Okay.
Because this is like a cut and flip. So you're going to cut a 1/2 inch,
So
and we're going
cut a 1/2
to
inch
flip
off.
it to see. So this way we get to see both sides of our designer series paper. Perfect. Okay, so keep both pieces. We'll get rid of the cutter. Okay. Then, so that was 3 by 3. This piece is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. And what you're going to do now is we're going to glue these on. I like the bigger print as our kind of main focal point. And then
and that one goes up next to it.
Yep. And you're going to just put them right next to each other. No gap in between them. And it should fit.
I think I can handle that.
I think you can. I have full confidence in you.
I don't. But I'm going to give it a whirl. I'm going to go like that because that looks about right maybe.
Mm-hmm. And then your little strip.
I do my little strip and I got to make it look different. So I'm going to glue on this side.
So again, those measurements, the DSP was 3 by 3, and then our square was 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. You could make it bigger by going up to a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 if you wanted to. And then that is just going to go on the front of your card.
Just like that.
Mm-hmm. So again, all the templates are like really simple. So you can make a super simple card with them, or you could put it anywhere. I put it up a little bit just because it's not like proportionately the same. There you go. And then for the inside, this time we're going to put a layer.
Oh, I like layers.
We have basic white that's going to go on the coordinating color. So our basic white on this one is going to be 3 1/4 by 5. And then we're layering it with 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So 3 3 3/4 by 5 and 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then just stick it in the inside. Sometimes, especially when the front of the card is really super simple, I like to, add a little bit more in the inside. So everything just kind of coordinates really nice together. There you go. And then if you're making these, make sure you write all those measurements right on your template. Now let's bring in what I made. So I started with a super simple one. You'll see here that I also cut this at the 11 by 4 1/4. But there's my designer series paper with it flipped. I just added some linen thread and a greeting. So super simple, but I thought that was a great Christmas card. I love the clean look of it. And then on the inside, I layered it and I added just a little scrap of designer series paper. So this one, we're really focusing on using that designer series paper, put it on the envelope as well. So quick and easy Christmas card. But that layout will work perfect with any of your papers, designer series papers. And then here you can see I turned it. Okay, so we're going vertical. No, horizontal. I'm like, I knew I said that wrong.
Just like vertical, but different.
Right? And I added a layer back here that is embossed. So again, add more layers if you want to on these. And then there is the inside of that one. So this is a great layout when you have those designer series papers that are so pretty that you can just let the paper do all the work for you. And final one. This is template number 4. Fold it in half.
Fold it again. I'm getting good at that part.
I know. 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, normal card.
I'm good at normal cards. Okay.
Now for this one, we have 2 pieces of designer series paper. Now you could have actually done this as a cut and flip as well, but in the instructions, I listed these as separate pieces because you might want to mix and match the patterns, not all front to back. So our big piece is 2 by 4 1/4, and this one is 1 by 4 1/4. And we're going to just stick them onto a piece that is 4 1/2 by 3 3/8.
So I got to see how this is going to look.
Yeah, and this one, we're going to actually put a space in between.
Oh, we are?
So we're going to make it a little bit different. So
there, got it. I know what I'm doing now.
You'll see a little bit of that background coordinating cardstock in between there.
Hello, Blue. There you are. You're back.
It's not coming out because you're not keeping it upside down when you're not using it. Don't put it in out without the cap.
Get in big trouble if I did that.
I know. I'll tell your son.
I know. He'd have to make another one for us. He won't talk to me for a month.
So again, this is a great layout to use, all those smaller scraps of designer series paper and let the designer series paper do the work. So, that's how you can make quick and easy cards, by just adding greetings and really focusing on those papers. And then that can go
upside down. It looks totally different.
Yep. So you can do it whichever way you want.
Oops, got a little thingy on there. Now this goes on the front of this.
You know what? I think you should put dimensionals on there.
Oh, should I?
Yeah, we really should be putting dimensionals on all of them, but I kind of forgot. Here, I'll help you.
I don't need help with dimensionals. I'm good at them.
And here's you want to see a little trick?
Yeah, I need tricks for this.
If you use a pointy thing,
off.
if you stab it and you can lift it up that way.
So normally I'm not allowed to play with pointy things.
That's true. So maybe we won't let you do that. And then that one should center because it's fairly even.
Bunk, bunk. Look at that.
And then this time for the inside, we have a 4 by 5 1/4, but don't glue it on yet because we're going to put a little piece of designer series paper at the bottom.
Oh, across the bottom. I like that.
Yeah, so
I think that always looks cool.
That's 1 by 4. That's what fits on our 4 by 5 1/4. Just remember, just add those special little touches. Use up your scraps of designer series paper.
Go all the way down there. Ooh, it's a slippery little bugger.
And then that goes on the inside. Now down in the description of the video here, we'll have a link that'll take you to the blog post, and that'll have all the information for either buying the tutorial or how you can get it for free if you place an order with us this month.
I just got glue all over my fingers.
Yeah, you did.
Wipe those on my pants a minute.
Good, good thing that was your last one. Okay, so there's number 4. And let's see, let's bring in my cards. So you can see how I was really playing with that designer series paper. Here I added a layer underneath it. So we picked up 3 different prints from the coordinating pack, added some linen thread, and our greeting. Quick and easy, but makes a beautiful card. I went for the opening up at the top, and then here's our inside, just like Dave made it, along with our envelope. And then we made another easy Christmas card here. So again, coordinating papers, you can see adding papers onto a white layer. People don't always think to use white as like a coordinating layer, but it just really brings out, lets those papers pop. Added a greeting on there, and there's the inside. So with a pack of designer series paper, you could make a whole bunch of Christmas cards real quick and easy. So I think we've done all of them. We've got 4 templates and 8 cards. So we had those 2 cards, and then those 2. And again, all the instructions are in the tutorial for all 8 of them. Otherwise, if you want to just make the templates so that you can use them, remember, you can stop and start this video, grab all the measurements, and make your templates just like I did here. And when you do that, make sure that you write those measurements on them and then just store these like in a shoebox or something. And when you go to make a card, just flip through the templates, find one you make, there's all your measurements, and create away. So thanks for watching. I hope you like this new series as we move from fun folds to regular card templates, and that you make these, but more importantly, that you use these over and over and over with any stamps, paper, and ink, and make lots of cards to pop in the mail to family and friends. So we'll see you again next week on the first Thursday of the month with 4 more card templates.
And until then, stampers,
have a stamp happy day.
Exactly.
Bye.